So, welcome to TikTok Tips for Business. And today we've got Anna and Callum from Morgan Brandon, who are experts on TikTok and have massively grown their channel and reaped the rewards. So, I'm going to hand you over to Anna and Callum. Do you want to do a bit of an introduction?
Good start to be on mute. There we go.
Yeah, always on mute.
Started. Callum from Morgan. At least I realised before you had to tell me. I saw Anna's face being like, "You're not speaking." Callum from Morgan Brandon. I'm the owner of Morgan Brandon, and I've also got here with me Anna, who are you, Anna?
Yeah, I am the social media executive at Morgan Brandon, but my main job is running and helping businesses on TikTok. So I run our TikTok, which we've reached 34,000 followers on. And I also help businesses grow their TikTok through content creation or coaching and strategy development.
So today you're going to be showing us 3 top TikTok growth tips, aren't you? But also you're going to be talking about how you've grown your channel so really very quickly, actually, as well. So go on then, give us an introduction to that.
Yeah, so we I suppose ultimately we're a marketing agency that started, where are we now, probably 5.5 years ago. And Bex, obviously I've known you for a long time. Yeah. During that time, we've spoken all the way through, and we have covered lots of different areas for lots of different businesses. But back in January 2021, Anna came to us on, I wouldn't say work experience there, but work placement, I think was the official title, from Edge Hill University. And with all our work placements, I always set them the task to go, for half of your placement, you're going to look at Morgan Brandon and what would you do differently if you were ultimately in charge of the marketing at Morgan Brandon. And Anna came in and her idea was, well, I think you should be on TikTok. I think you should be looking at TikTok. And obviously I was aware of the platform at that time. We didn't really have a channel. We weren't doing anything. And if I'm honest, we weren't strong necessarily on any social channel individually. We haven't got a large following anywhere else other than TikTok. And when I say that, I mean, to put some numbers on that, we probably had 200-300 likes on Facebook. We probably had 800 followers on Instagram. We probably had a couple of hundred on LinkedIn. I had a relatively big network on LinkedIn just over the years, but we weren't strong on any other platform, just to give some context of where this has come from. It's not like we've just dove in with a huge Facebook following, started TikTok and grown. We grew from nothing. Anna took the reins of that in January 2021-ish. We always say 18 months ish is about the time to get us from absolutely zero to where we are now, 35,000. But that 35,000, what were we this time last year, Anna? Probably 10? Did we get to 10 this time last year?
Yeah, we were on about 10,000.
10,000. Okay. And then even the last 6 weeks, we've grown another 5,000 followers. So the growth is becoming a little bit exponential at the minute. But obviously, followers doesn't necessarily pay the bills. We also say that we've got a mailing list now of 200 people. We have a free Facebook group that I think it's got about 500 people in it. We've got, and other ourselves, it's hard to necessarily assign an exact figure, but I always say over £100,000 worth of revenues come from TikTok now. Probably the figure I was looking this morning, actually, before we jumped on this, I bet you it's not far off £150,000 worth of revenue during that period. And obviously that growth, we didn't make much in the first year. You know, that has mainly come from this year and starting to push that, trigger on getting revenue from TikTok. So that's happening through people that have joined the mailing list or then just inquire. We get a heck of a lot of hits for our website. Obviously, I look at the data side of that. But really for us, we've just gone, oh, this is working. Let's just keep growing TikTok and then we'll work out after that where it's gone. So, do you know, at that point, January 21, I was seeing a lot of influencers start to get success on TikTok. It was starting to become popular. Obviously, COVID was a good time for TikTok to grow. But it was still very much at that point a platform where we wouldn't have been having this chat in January 2021 because businesses, I don't think, were paying much attention. I certainly see the tide turning in that. You know, hopefully the guys tuning in today or watching this afterwards are tuning in because they're either on it and they're doing well, they're on it, they're not worked it out yet, or they're looking at it thinking, do I need to get on this platform? And obviously through some of the things we'll run through today, hopefully convince you that the answer is hopefully yes. It doesn't have to be yes, though. We do always mention, and I know you guys you're dealing with a lot of different size businesses, but very similar demographic towards the majority of our audience is a small business audience. And we say to people, you, as a small business, you don't have to be brilliant on every platform. You probably need to work out one and do it very well. So before TikTok, for us, Facebook groups was that place, I would say. We used to get a lot of work through Facebook groups, you know, local recommendations. Does anyone know anyone that builds a website or whatever? That's where work came from. And now that's coming from TikTok, and work comes through there. So we go, you know, focus on one. If you've got other platforms doing well, you may not need to pay much attention to TikTok at the minute. But if you've not got any platform working for your business at the minute, and you're looking for one to, you know, skyrocket your growth, my advice would be take a look at TikTok, because we have seen businesses change overnight. You know, we're preaching an 18-month long story here. We're not saying that it's necessarily you're going to do it overnight, but we've worked with businesses over 6 weeks and got them millions of views, you know, on some of the content creation stuff that we've done, and you know, thousands of followers in a 6-week period. So it is possible to do it a lot quicker than 18 months, which it's taken us. But it does depend on your business and whether your demographics there and all the usual things that we would usually talk about. But the honest answer, people say, are my demographic there? And I go, everyone is there now. They're just not there. You know, it is definitely a younger audience. I think I'll let Anna run through the figures because she knows them a lot better than me as the TikTok expert. But how many active users are on TikTok, are they saying at the minute? And TikTok don't release their figures as much as Facebook. So we always have to play between the lines of these figures because they're not a public company at the minute, TikTok. So they don't have to release as much as the publicly listed companies.
So I think last time I looked at it was at 1 billion, but I bet it's more than that now, is it, Anna?
Yeah, it's currently over 1 billion active users. And across across the globe, about 50% of that of those users are in between the ages of 18 to, I think it's 25, 30, and then so obviously the biggest proportion of people on the app is the younger demographic to an extent, but there are still a lot of older people using it from that 30 age group to 60, 70, 80. So there is like a huge potential to reach your target audience on TikTok. I think the main reason why TikTok is so good at reaching your potential customers and your potential clients is the way in which the algorithm works. So for those that don't know, TikTok is based on the algorithm, which is their For You page. So when you're scrolling the app, you'll have videos pop onto your feed in a non-chronological order, which are tailored completely to you based on the videos that you're interacting with. What are you liking? What are you watching? What are you engaging with? And then TikTok are able to kind of find out what your interests are, hobbies are, what your passions are, and they'll distribute content towards you based on what you're interacting with already. So if your target audience are interacting with things within your niche or within your industry, the odds of you kind of reaching that demographic is quite high.
Can I ask a question? Sorry, Callum. Yeah. So is it basically, if you've got you do a video, because it's not in chronological order, is it a line of a little bit like YouTube in fact that 6 weeks later that video could be put in front of your potential ideal client?
And LinkedIn in that factor, we say, LinkedIn actually has got worse at this, I think. But at the start, we compared it a lot to LinkedIn and YouTube, that videos pop up from a year ago, 6 months ago. And I was just, as I was saying that, I was going to go look at our feed because you can see our trending videos. And I was just going to pull up to, normally there'll be an example in there of a video that is getting views that we posted 6 months ago.
I actually saw one this morning based, now that talking about that, there was a video I posted in July 2021, and it is still getting traction now, and it's gained like, not that it's huge, but it's gained like 3%, views in the last 7 days, which, people are still watching that video. It's now on like 200,000 views, but when we posted that a year and a half ago or whatever it was maybe at 10k views. 5K views. You know, it wasn't like a huge video, and then it's just grown and grown and grown over the last year and a half. So
just I mean, none of that. We have got a lot of videos doing well at the minute, so it's probably quite hard to say. But in our last 7 days trending videos, Anna at the minute is posting 3 times a day. We're not saying you necessarily need to get from the off.
Yeah.
And this question comes up: how often should I post and all that jazz? But there are videos. There's 8 videos in our last 7-day trending videos, and they're from October is the oldest video back in that. So videos we posted in October are still getting more views than videos that we posted like last week. And obviously for us, they're in the thousands of views. So some videos can still do well from this week, but not hit that list. So it's got a bit more longevity. And people say about not deleting posts, and TikTok will pull stuff up from previous, and people can go in. So in TikTok, there's a function to like reply to a post, or there's a function to duet a post. So these things, somebody could come in and duet a post that you did a year ago, and that post will
tell us,
go crazy
what is
again.
Duetting a post? Because that's something you don't get on any other social media.
Yeah, so when you duet a video, you're basically resharing their video, but you can record yourself on the screen next to them, so you can add additional value. So if they were, if someone was posting a video about TikTok tips, and then I wanted to add some further tips, I could duet their post, or agree with them, or share some extra value in that way. That's kind of the way to do it from like a business sense, but from a creative sense, people duet lots of different things for lots of different reasons. Reaction videos, things like that. So I think it's mainly just distributing their post across your audience if it fits the demographic. So
go on then, Anna. What are your 3 top tip growth hacks? Should we call them hacks for TikTok?
Okay, so my first tip will be to be consistent and to have a content strategy that you can, refer back to each week and kind of put out the same value. So I would recommend having a set of content pillars, which are a set of topics that you can consistently talk about in your industry. Vary a range of styles. When you're first starting out on TikTok, what I would do is post a load of different videos, different content styles, educational, entertaining, humorous, whatever that they might be, and find what works best for you, because it's going to be different for everyone. But if you kind of monitor that and find what works, you can then incorporate those content styles and content pillars into your plans, for the future weeks. So we've got a free content planner for TikTok, which you can download, and it's a method to effectively plan your content week by week. So breaking down the script, what you're going to say in those videos, what you're going to talk about, finding the sounds. So if you're on TikTok, you'll probably know that TikTok's built on trending sounds. So if sounds are trending, you really want to use those sounds as soon as possible. So make sure that you're incorporating those into the plan. Having a look at what people are searching for in your industry, which we'll come on to on the next tip. But just kind of effectively thinking about how you want to plan your content, and also batch creating that content to ensure that you can post, however frequently you want. Like Callum said before, 3 times a day is, kind of the maximum that we've ever done. But we started off by 3 times a week. We built that up to 1 time a day, and it does really depend on how much time you've got, what platforms you're currently focusing on. If TikTok isn't your main focus, you might want to put that investment into Instagram or to, LinkedIn, whatever kind of meets your needs. But for us, we have a batch creating day every Monday. I'll plan out all the videos, I'll record the videos, edit them, write the captions, and then for that week, I don't have to think about, creating TikToks again.
Yeah. I think that's really important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to plan it, and I'll put your link, because you've got a free TikTok planner, haven't you? I'll put the link in the chat, actually. So if anyone's interested.
That's been a very popular addition, and I had a video that goes viral with that link. So she set up this planner, but just to give you some idea of it, that's a free download that we've put up. Obviously, look at what we're doing as tips for how to grow your TikTok. We're not doing these things for a laugh. We set up this TikTok content planner, and I think the figure last time I checked was 1,200 people have downloaded this planner now. So for us, that's 1,200 email addresses. It's 1,200 opportunities. Many have been going, that's got till December. When am I getting January, February? So we're working on that now. So, look at these things that we're doing. These are the same things I'm sure that Bex has said a million times, because I've heard her say it on other platforms. These are the same techniques that we're using from other platforms on TikTok. There are subtle differences with TikToks and things that are different, but a lot of the techniques are similar things that we would do on other platforms. Now, I always mention planning and batch creation at this point, because I think TikTok, unlike any other platform, is a lot harder if you try and be reactive. If you try and think, I need to post 3 TikToks today or 1 TikTok today, you'll never do it. So we really do push this, that we batch create. In TikTok, you can have drafts. Scheduling is not as easy in TikTok as it is on other platforms. But Anna will have all her drafts made up, so she can just log in, press one button, and it posts.
So you can have multiple drafts.
Yeah, hundreds.
That's brilliant. Rather than just one.
50.
How many?
Right.
Probably about 100.
Yeah. So we can pull up posts, and for us, 3 times a day, but we go live twice a week. We're repurposing that content. We've got a lot of content that we can share out on TikTok. So it is easier once you get into the swing of it. But planning, I can't stress this is the same for most platforms, but planning on TikTok is probably as key as any other. The only other thing I mentioned, because if anyone then goes over and looks at our page and goes, it's all very good, but Anna's brilliant at doing TikToks, I wouldn't be able to do that, and I wouldn't be that confident, is I go, okay, spend 5 minutes, scroll all the way back to the start of our feed. It's easier to do it on the desktop, would be my advice. It's quite hard to do it on mobile. We've posted about 1,500 videos. So is do it on desktop and go and have a look at the start, because we weren't posting in this style at the start. We were posting different things to try. The quality wasn't as good. So people say quality or quantity, and we say both. You have to get through a level of quantity to find a style that works for you, and then go from there. And we're always trying different styles, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and that's how we've done it.
And that's what I really like about you guys, is that you were a company based in Warrington where I am, but you actually did exactly the right thing, in that rather than spread yourself too thin across all platforms, you actually just invested and went, right, we're just going to go for this one platform and do it well. And it's just paid off, hasn't it? It's amazing.
And we still get people, your Instagram isn't very good. I'm like, okay, we know. We try and make it better. It is on a list, but in reality for us, as I said before, we can grow. Over the past few weeks, I think we've been growing at like an average of 2,000 followers a week, if not highs of 4,500 followers. We can't get that growth on Instagram at the minute. So let's go where, and Bex, you'll have seen this with a lot of people, is they get big on one platform and then it's easier to move this around other platforms. It's a lot easier for us to grow our Instagram and YouTube and Facebook when our Facebook group is 500 people. We've got more people in a group than we've got that like our page. They've all come from TikTok. So it's easier for us to grow in other places. Now we've got one, and therefore, Anna's got herself a little target of 50,000 followers. Anna the other day said she'd jump out of a plane in the office. So,
oh really?
Her dad wasn't very happy. Yeah, her dad wasn't very happy about this, but I jumped on the opportunity to go, okay. And I think next year, we really do want to get to 100,000 followers. So, and it's achievable. That to me doesn't sound like a lofty, scary goal. It is achievable. I'll let Anna get on to idea 2, because
number two.
So TikTok is becoming a powerful search engine as well now, and I think it's about 40% of Gen Z demographics use TikTok instead of Google to search for things. So I fall into that demographic. I search for most things on TikTok. Me and Callum always use the example of, I went to Barcelona a few months ago and I didn't Google anything for Barcelona. It was all based off TikTok recommendations, my entire trip. So, that's just the power of the search engine optimization on TikTok. So my top tip for that side of things is to answer questions that your target audience are searching for on TikTok, or even if it is on Google. But make sure that you are answering questions and also kind of creating content that people are searching for on the platform. So a way that you can look and find out what people are searching for in your industry is by searching a keyword that's relevant to your niche. So that could be marketing, for example. It could be candles, whatever you do. Search that keyword in TikTok search. After you've put the keyword, TikTok will give you a list of bold key phrases after that word, and anything that's in bold you can rank for, basically. So making sure that using these keywords in captions, text on screen, hashtags, and also if you search again a keyword or a key phrase and you scroll past the top 4 videos on that TikTok search bar, TikTok says others have searched for, and they'll give you a list of about 8 phrases that people are searching for on the app to do with your industry. So there's some good ways to incorporate TikTok SEO to rank higher on those pages for your industry to get found by more.
And this is similar, you know, the tips that we give are the same as normal SEO tips, but it's understanding that Anna, and we were doing a training one point, and I was like, people aren't browsing TikTok, and Anna went, I am. And we changed our messaging from that point, because I was like, what do you mean? What? Because I wasn't doing it. I'm 31, Anna's 21. You know, we're a different demographic, and she was searching for any restaurant, any things to do, all through TikTok. Obviously, I would go to Google, and I still would, but if Anna is in your target demographic, you need to understand that and do that. And that will also age up, as everything does age up. And not only that, but TikTok ranks in Google as well. So if you search things on Google, TikTok videos will show. So we think, you know, it's the same way people have been thinking about blogging over the years. You need to think about TikTok as part of your content strategy, because it is ranking and people are searching. The other thing, and I've not even spoke to Anna about this at the moment, but location-based stuff is coming. So I've seen it on some of my stuff. So we said to a lot hyper-localized businesses, we say TikTok probably isn't as important, but we knew it was coming to say, you know, if you're a restaurant in Warrington that only serves people in Warrington and you don't really need to go much bigger, is TikTok that important? Probably not. If you're a restaurant that wants to be a chain or wants to attract people, you're in a city and you're going for a bigger audience, yes, it probably is. But now as location comes into TikTok, which you can now tag locations and videos are ranking for locations as well, we do think there'll be a shift. So I do see more content. We do see more content to do with the Northwest, being in the Northwest. But it isn't as important as other platforms with location stuff. But that will change as TikTok gives you more for your local area. And then obviously if you're traveling, again, the same message again. So it does depend on your business. But, you know, location heavy businesses, you know, if you only do business in Warrington and only with a small audience, probably isn't the be all and end all to you. But we were that business that mainly did business, you know, within 30 miles of here, and now we have clients in America, Canada, Australia, you know, so it can change your business if you wanted to as well.
Can help you go global, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Go on then, Anna. What's
the third one?
Third tip?
Yeah, so my third tip is to measure your success. So obviously with TikTok's For You page and the algorithm, making it so easy to know what videos people like, because you can get the views, you can get the traction. You need to be constantly looking at what those videos are that perform well and recreating those content styles, whether that be using the same sounds and trying those sounds with different topics, whether it be using the same topic, the same style of content, but making sure that you are recreating those successful videos, and then maybe the videos that are getting 100 views, 200 views, kind of leaving those and coming back to them, but really just trying to focus on what goes well for you. There is a way to look at this in the analytics page. So if you go on to your business suite, you can look at your analytics and you can look at your trending content for the last 7 days. So TikTok,
which is what I was looking at before when I was trying to find them videos. You know, the data is very, very good out the back of TikTok.
Yeah. So yeah, I would just make sure that you're always checking those analytics and making sure that you recreate what works best.
And I think that's one thing people don't actually look at, is it the analytics? And what I've noticed, because I'm on TikTok very poorly, I've just been messing around with it, as you do, because people ask me questions. But basically, what I've been looking at, I think I've got a massive following of 121. I mean, you'll be impressed, won't you? And some of them, but the thing is all my videos I've posted, they're absolutely rubbish, because, you know, I'm just dabbling. But actually, they're all reaching far higher than the number of followers I've got. So, you know, and my videos really aren't very good. But you know, and I think that's what you were saying, Anna. If you look at the analytics and metrics, which a lot of people don't do, TikTok, from a creator's perspective at the moment, is way above all the other social media platforms because they're highly saturated, aren't they? Whereas there's not as many creators on TikTok, are there, than the other social media platforms. So it is a good time to get active, isn't it?
And there's not as many big businesses. Do you know, we're preaching this message to big business, and I can promise you they're scared. Like we're having chats with big businesses, and they are scared, but they're getting there. Do you know, there are some very, very good examples. The BBC, for example, are very good in my opinion on TikTok. Go and look at the BBC's content on TikTok. BBC. Do you know, it's TikTok, it's BBC, but it's TikTok. Do you know, they're not just recreating other content from other platforms. They're making TikToks, and we say this: you need to make TikToks, not videos. That you need to make the style of content for the platform. If for anyone that's into YouTube or has got any following on YouTube, TikTok we say is very similar to that. The data analytics you get on the back of a video when somebody drops off the video and all this stuff is the same level, and it is very impressive. I think you asked us before we started, Bex, about where our following is from. Do you know? So we're currently, as I speak, at 34,679 followers. So if Anna gets her backside in gear, we might have 35,000 by the end of the week. So we'll see what happens there.
No
we
pressure.
Are 30% male, 70% female at the minute. Age 22% 18 to 24, 43% 25 to 34, 23% 35 to 44, 9% 45 to 54, and 3% 55 plus. So obviously we get asked age questions all the time, but 3% of 35,000 on quick maths is over 1,000 people for us are over 55 following our content, which, you know, to me, they're there. You know, we have a lot of brands that target an older demographic, and they're asking, are their customers there? And we're saying, yes, they're not in the same numbers of Facebook, but also these tend to be the trendy first market movers that are going as well, which tend to be quite good customers. So, and then we get top countries. So we're 45% US now, 40% UK, 6% Canada, 6% Australia, 3% Germany. TikTok is obviously a huge app in the US. As well as there, then top cities, 28% London, 21% Birmingham, 18% Sydney, 17% Manchester, and 15% Los Angeles. So we can see that of where the top cities are coming from, and top places. Nothing necessarily surprising there. We know we've got a big US audience. We time our lives to suit US and Canada audience. We know we've got a following there. So I don't know if it's Anna's Liverpool accent that drags them in, because obviously the Americans like the English accent, but no. So for us, that global audience, and do you know, at the minute we're in a place, do you know, in the UK where we're in a recession, or whether we're in a recession or not, or whatever the hell's going on, do you know, the dollar for us, we're cheap in America, so our services in general are cheap in America, and we look at that, we're cheap in Australia.
Yeah, it's a good time to target abroad, isn't it, at the moment, with the state of the economy.
I can tell us it was never on our radar, and now I have to have chats with the Department of Export, whoever they are, you know, from the Warrington Business Exchange that we chat to and talk about these things and tax. But it's an opportunity we didn't have 6 months ago, and this is a platform. And not every business is going to be that case. I'm definitely not saying that, but I certainly was sat there going, oh, we don't need to export. Do you know, when them chats were on for Warrington Business Exchange or Chamber of Commerce about export, I'm like, oh, I don't export. Do you know, I'm not interested in these. And then suddenly it became a problem we had to look at. So it has certainly changed my business. Do you know, the things that we look at now and do were not services we offered 9 months ago. So I say go into these platforms with an open pair of eyes, because you might be making money in different ways. I mean, how much money we get offered? A serious amount of money now, Anna, don't we, to post stuff on our page? And often we are turned it down. We don't take much, because we only take it if it aligns with what we want to promote. You know, we won't promote stuff that we don't use ourselves, but we could probably turn the button on now and make thousands this week and disappear off it. Do you know what I mean? So it's a different kettle of fish to what we were doing before.
It is. And I think, like anything, it's, you know, as a business, video is only growing, isn't it? You know, I think, was it Cisco predicted that 2022 would be 82% of all internet traffic was going to be video, and TikTok, I think, has basically set that trend, hasn't it? Instagram's followed TikTok by Instagram Reels. You've now got YouTube Short, you've got Facebook Reels. You know, video is the future. And actually, I love TikTok, not because of my so many followers that I've got, my impressive 121, but because I've actually find it a really easy video editing tool. So, and you can actually then download that video, can't you? So even if you decide you don't want to use TikTok on a regular basis, it's actually a really good platform to create a video, and then you can download it, remove the watermark, and put it onto your social media. And in fact, this is something that we were looking at last week. I have a group, social media support group, and I was teaching them how to create reels and TikTok videos, not necessarily for the platforms, but actually those videos can then be put on your website, can't they? Those popular ones, they can be put on LinkedIn, they can be used everywhere. So it's a fantastic content creation tool. And then if you use it properly, like you guys do, can actually massively reap those rewards.
Well, Anna certainly wouldn't say she's a videographer or a video editor, ever. But in reality, she made 1,500 videos. She's made, I can't even imagine how many hours of content that is. Probably more than we've made through all our video editing tools. And we have video editors, and we are doing a bit now with video editors and whatever. But the reality of it is, Anna was not a videographer and still wouldn't class herself as that, is not a video editor. She does the vast majority through TikTok, a lot of editing through TikTok. We do use other tools, just to mention them. What are they, Anna? CapCut
CapCut and Splice, but that's only occasionally, really. Pretty much, I'd say like 98% of my TikToks that I post for Morgan Brandon are filmed in TikTok, edited in TikTok, everything in TikTok. For a few client videos, I tend to use Splice, which is free, and it's pretty similar, really, to the TikTok editing features. But just kind of out of habit, I've always used it. So, but you can edit everything in TikTok, basically. Maybe not to the same extent as a big campaign video that's produced, properly. But for what TikToks are, all you need is the app TikTok. So
and a phone, we're not doing anything more complicated than a phone and TikTok. And I do stress that to people, that the barrier of entry is very, very low. You don't need big camera gear. Yes, you can do that. I'm not saying you don't. If you've got it and you want to do it. But we find that the ones that are procrastinating and taking forever don't get into the swing of just making a quick video and so yeah.
And that's the nature of social media, isn't it? Oh, well, thank you very much, both of you, for joining me today and sharing these amazing tips. And it's so nice to hear of a business who has made a massive impact by really just dedicating a bit of time and effort. And 18 months, although it sounds like a long time, it's probably absolutely flown for you guys. And who'd have thought 18 months ago you'd be here now? So thanks for joining. I'm going to put a link as well, because you have a newsletter, don't you, to help with some more. I'm sure you share lots more tips and advice as well. So I will share that in the chat as well. So today's top tips on TikTok have been brought to you by myself, Social Media Executive, and we've shared lots of guest experts in the Social Flock, which is a social media support group here to bring experts like Callum and Anna together to share their tips and advice on social media, because it's not as easy as it may seem. But if you do it well and you do dedicate your time to it, then it really does pay off. So if you want help, support, and more advice, please do come and join the Social Flock. And you'll find me live here every Monday, although this is the last live now till the new year. So Merry Christmas, everybody. But back in the new year, we will be looking at planning your social media content for the year and be sharing lots of tips and advice. So I'd just like to say a huge thank you to Callum and Anna. It's been an absolute pleasure. And I will certainly be trying to implement some of your tips, and maybe I might grow to another 5 followers over Christmas. You never know. But yeah, any closing remarks from you guys?
Everyone get on
just
TikTok.
Do it. Nearly Nick Nikes there. Just do it. We say just get in there, post some videos, see what happens. You never know.
You don't know until you don't try, and you might actually quite enjoy it. Right. Thanks everybody for watching, and have a fabulous Christmas, and we will see you all in the new year. Thanks, Anna, and thanks, Callum.
Cheers.
Thank you.